14th, 2017. Something happened, ladies and gentlemen, to our Earth. We will see that whatever it was impacted all of us. We know this. It had the same effect as a freight train hitting our planet. It absolutely, whatever this was, obliterated our protection, our shield that protects all life on Earth. Question is, was it the sun? I mean, we get impacted by solar wind all the time. Earth is designed to handle that. But there are those exceptions. But was there something that happened on the sun that could be directly correlated back to this event? Haven't been able to find one. Was it the Earth itself? Was it the Earth basically sending out signals that something is wrong with the planet? Don't know. Was it natural or was it man-made? That still has not been determined. What we do know is this: the Earth's magnetosphere was blown away. And it was a prolonged event. We know this because we have the satellites, the observation points that are designed to record and to send the data. Now, we're going to be talking about, again, the Earth's magnetosphere, or also as it's known as the Earth's magnetopause. Our Earth has a distinct protection field about it. We do this magnetically. And what you see here with the red lines, this is what we call the closed loops. It's what protects us. Now, you asked where I mentioned a while ago that we get this from satellite telemetry. Well, we have GOES 15, 14, 13 comms. We also now have GOES 16 up there. And, of course, we have our moon, which does affect the magnetic elements of the Earth. So as you can see, this was last year, very normal day on planet Earth. Here we are, same period of time. Again, very normal. This is, by the way, this is what you would call the solar wind coming in. And your colors, as you can see here, are basically plasma. It's how hot the atmosphere is, you could say, here on Earth. In this case, it's actually space. As it should be. This was in January. Now, I will point out in this one, as opposed to being able to actually see what we would want to see more of a streamline in the plasma flow, there is some unusual activity taking place here, and you can see how the magnetopause is reacting, but still within normalcy. Although you can see the surrounding area hot, getting warmer. But nothing wrong with this. Even this, again, is within normalcy. What this is, not sure, but you can see it's really not impacting the Earth all that much. Now, I pardon for the blurriness on this, but the point of this one, this is not normal. I can assure you the other slides will be a lot clearer, but this is very, very troublesome. In fact, we actually did a program on this, Steve Olson and I did. So, March 14th, it begins. But we actually see that it began on the 13th. So this was a prolonged event, whatever it was, on the Earth's shield, our magnetopause, our magnetosphere. Because in this capture, you can see it is absolute chaos. We've lost the clothesline to polarity. That's gone. Folks, when you got a collapse on the closed loop polarity, that means basically there's no shield up there. And look at the IMF lamps. It's like they have been completely obliterated. So we're going to document for the next 4 hours, actually I think it's actually 5 hours, what happened on this day to the Earth's magnetic shield. Now these frames came from Skywatch Media. They were sent to me, and listen, we're putting this out there because it's about awareness for all of us. This impacts not just the human life, but all life. Something happened on this day, and whatever it is, it's beginning to happen with much more frequency and much more intensity, as we're going to see. So watch the time code right up here and just begin to follow it yourself. You have the basic understanding now of what is normal. Obviously, that is not normal. In fact, you will not see another normal frame for the rest of this presentation. Now, I get the distinct impression that there's a pull coming down the ecliptic. It just seems like that to me. But that's just my impression. Now, what's wrong with this is that basically the Earth is devoid of any magnetic output. And what magnetic output there is de minimis to what normalcy should be. It should not be this way. And just take a look for it, you can see. It's as if the Earth is being pulled and at the same time trying to connect to something. Now, here you can see the different levels of your plasma. Obviously, this is cooler. And again, you can see the IMF lines on here. I mean, this is just chaos. You can see that the shield itself, it's just, well, it would definitely be what would be called a weakened state. Now, when I see concentrations like this, I personally do not know what these are, don't know what's causing it, but your eye is naturally drawn that there is a concentration there, as you can see that there is one here as well. And again, the different temperature values. Now, if this is a man-made event, wow, all I can say, I'm going to go slow through these so you can absorb each one and get the impact of what's taking place here. Now, if you will go back in your memory and remember what you were doing on March 14th, remember this was impacting you. Again, just the chaotic. You can see it's as if it lacks any connection point. And you start getting these areas that you can see are just, now is this plasma here? And if that's the case, then boy, talk about a disruption. I mean, I kind of look at this as if you were able to put, warm and cold water and you put them in and you could begin to see how they begin to interact on an ocean. But this is disturbing right here. Again, I get the distinct impression that instead of being pulled down, it's being pulled down and something else out here. Now the sun, this is the sun in real time. Skywatch Media did a great job in giving the comparisons. So as we look at each frame, you can begin to comprehend really what's happening here. I mean, on the scale of being able to measure this by the energy that's being outputted, it's I don't know if anything that we have that could generate that. Maybe CERN. But could a machine generate this much chaos, this much interruption, and on such a scale? And as you can see, we're going about sometimes 4-minute intervals and sometimes 20-minute intervals. This is what I don't understand, is what is this connected to? I don't see it coming off the Earth. So this is just my interpretation. It just leads me to believe that there's something else causing this. You can see here the Earth is trying to get back, but there again, not happening. And you can see the difference too in the magnetic caps here, the north and the south. Look at the north compared to the south. Now we have just the opposite. And so as I understand science, and I'm not saying that I have all the knowledge, but I do have the basics, it seems to me that there has to be something causing this. If I looked at this as a low pressure, high pressure, then there is a perturbation that's pushing here on this pressure line, right? And here's the magnetic shield right here, just blown away. And look at the southern pole here. And what gets me on this one is that as I continue to look at this, is that this has more of a southeast pull as opposed to what we would call a direct magnetic north, right? Just my interpretation. Now look at this. I mean, this is extreme when I look at this one. I mean, just the density, right? And look at this. Again, if we use the low pressure, high pressure scenario, then you could see that this is just something has an enormous effect. Now this is disturbing. It's like it can't make a closed loop. There's something that's just absolutely, I had the thought if I had a leaf blower, right? And I had a solid object and you're just, you know, the air current is not consistency, it's not hot, not cold, it varies. And this is what I see from this. Well, look at this. I mean, just what is that? I mean, I really don't know. But I'm sure if you're watching this, you're probably saying to yourself, I don't know. I don't know. I know this. I know it is far from normal. Look at that. Again, you get the distinct impression. Something down here below the ecliptic just seems to be pulling. And it has like ebbs and tides to it. It's like when there's just immense intensity, and it's like the earth is just trying to catch its breath, right? And just recover from, whatever is assaulting it. And it's trying to get back into that closed loop, but again, something pulling. And that's just my interpretation of this. Now you can see that it's trying to recover, but again, something's really hot right here. I mean, the intensity of the plasma is really hot. And again, the shield is being pulled out. Now this is just really odd. We're getting, again, this concentration effect. And look at this. Still. I mean, it's just like it's just total in chaos. Another assault being hit out there. I mean, this is just off the scale. And again, I get this distinct impression, something below. And look at the heat of the plasma. I mean, it just... And notice the time. We're hours into this. And again, this is crazy. I mean, this is like, it's like the Earth's magnetic shield is being pulled off of the Earth and being artificially surrounded by something else. Like if the shield itself is being transposed over onto something else. And it just comes in these waves again. Kind of ebbs and tides. Look at this. And again, I get that distinct impression. Here again, you can see this. I mean, these are definitely concentrations of concentric lines of magnetism. I mean, it's just wild. I don't know if this is the cause, but again, you have to become suspicious. And here, the Earth is just like it's catching its breath again, just trying to get the shield back in order. Now, you see what I mean by no connection? Where is this coming from? I don't know. I mean, you get these loops. If we could see in the total light spectrum, the total spectrum across in here, what is it that we're seeing that's causing this? I don't know. And then it's like it just goes to the other extreme. And the amount of energy the Earth is putting out is just absolutely. I'm very suspicious of. I can't figure it out. But here again, you can see. And look what's happening here. I get the impression of almost like a boundary of intense polarity. Does that make sense? And then look at this. What's causing this? I mean, we follow just what I know in basic laws of magnetism. There's something that when you get these concentrations, it's causing this polarity to come into here. And you can see the time code again. Watch this. I mean, this is like, being in a 16-bout round of boxing, and, we're into the 15th round now. And the Earth is just getting its butt kicked. What's this? I mean, this is just, you can see it's a distortion. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, there is something here. It's like we're not able to see it, but you can see it's like the wind. I mean, you tell me that is normal. I don't know. When I look at this, I don't know if fear is the right word. It's like you're looking at something that you have no interpretation. Looking at a Sanskrit, and you're trying to figure out, all right, where's the commonality? What's happening here? And it has no connection to the Earth, whatever this is. And the effect just goes on. Now, I know this is a long video, but it's only when you slow down and you take a look at these on an individual frame that you begin to see something. I mean, again, we're seeing this all the time. Again. And it seems like when one field is trying to recover, the other one is just exploding, right? And it's just coming from all different parts. It's like it cannot get itself back into a closed loop. I mean, something is just sucking it out there. I mean, look at the distortion lines on this. Bizarre. And you can see the satellites. I mean, I am sure that they have to have been impacted by this as well. Just doesn't make sense when you look at this. Again, almost looks like eddy pools, doesn't it? And then look at this. It gets so intense. I mean, that's what draws my attention when you see that. And don't let it escape your understanding. You're seeing just huge amounts of energy. That's just crazy.